So yesterday I went to the Cannock League Cup. It was 6 rounds of best of 3 and I took Greninja Break. So the main 3 reasons I took Greninja Break over anything else was there was less Garb about, so I chose to play one fewer Field Blower so I can play something else to replace it. You can take multiple KOs a single turn, which I'll explain when going through my 6 rounds. And your opponent takes like really 6 difficult prizes because they're 170 HP single prize Pokemon that just spread damage about, and it's just good. So my first round was against Lycanroc Zoroark. I felt pretty comfortable going into this matchup, to be honest, because their basics are only 60 HP. So you can just Shuriken the Lycanrocs and the Zoroarks and then just de-evolve them with Espeon for easy KOs. Which basically what happened when we went into game 1. So throughout the game I was just placing Shurikens about on Lycanrocs and Zoroarks while Shadow Stitching to deny him any trades or Bloodthirsty Eyes. And then after my opponent took their first 3 prizes, I just dropped in Espeon and just de-evolved 3 of them for 3 prizes. And then the following turn I just kept Shuriken even more, to the point where the turn after that I just placed up the Espeon again and took two more prizes, and then he just scooped. Game 2, that didn't really go too well for me. I had a pretty good setup because I managed to water dupes for all my Frogadiers, but I just didn't see any Greninjas for the next 2-3 turns, and my opponent took advantage of that and just took game 2. And game 3, we both set up really well. He ended up getting like 2 Zoroarks to begin with, and I managed to water dupes for 4 Frogadiers again. Well, 3 Frogadiers, 1 in the active. And time was called, and we both knew that we couldn't take our 6 prizes in the 2 turns that we had, so that game ended up in a tie. So my round 2 was against Metagross GX. Now, me and a couple of others didn't really expect this to show up, but it did. My game 1 went really well. I managed to set up all 3 of my breaks as fast as I could, and my opponent didn't even manage to set up at all, so he just scooped, and that gave me game 1. Game 2, that went really bad for me. Just like the game 2 in round 1, I saw like no Greninjas at all. So I resulted in just doing Hydro Shot on Tapu Fini, and then when he set up, I just scoop, knowing that I didn't have the momentum to carry on the game. And then game 3, we went through most of it, but when time was called, I had my 3 prizes left, whilst he had 6, and knowing that he couldn't take them, he scooped, which I thought was pretty nice of him, since he could have easily made that game a draw by just holding back and just kept max potioning, but he just scooped instead and gave me the win. So if you listen to this, then thanks. So my round 3 was against Golisopod Garbodor. Now, I'm not gonna lie, before the game started I saw Golisopod sleeves and I just kept thinking to myself, hopefully they are just for aesthetics and we can just carry on and not lose. But unfortunately it was Golisopod Garbodor. So in game 1 we both set up pretty well. I started off with 2 Throkies and passed with a Frogadier and Water Energy in hand. So if he didn't end, then I just attach Evolve Water Dupes. And then he set up with a Lele Bridget for 2 Glissopods and a Trubbish. And the following turn I did exactly what I was going to do. Just evolve, attach, water dupe. And then he went Golisopod Garb Floatstone and I was just crying. And then he knocked out my Frogadier, but then we both realised there and then that he forgot to place prizes. So he called the judge over, and since he only searched once, he only got a warning, which was fair enough, judge's final word. And I ended up losing because he just kept streamlining KOs, and I had no abilities that entire game, which was fun. Game 2, that went really similar to Game 1. He just kept streamlining KOs, and I couldn't do it about it. I did manage to take some prizes, but in the end I just got obliterated that round. So round 4, I was against Raichu Heatmore. Game 1 went fairly quickly. I attached the Water Energy and the Choice Band to a Froakie because my opponent had a Pikachu out, and I presumed he was playing some form of Raichu GX. Then my opponent played a single puzzle at a time to see his next 3 draws, and he just scooped. And it surprised people around us as well. Game 2, it went a lot better for my opponent because he opened up Heatmore, and it was then I found out what sort of deck he was playing. He ended up trapping my Lele for quite a lot of turns after I water duped turn 1 with Wally and Water Energy. So after the Lele being trapped for a few turns, I just scooped because I wanted more time in Game 3 to try and beat it. Game 3, it went pretty much exactly like Game 2, but my opponent ended up milling me out because he flipped quite a lot of heads on Handiwork and kept getting it back with Heatmore. So yeah, there was nothing much I can really do about that. So round 5, I faced Galissapod Garbodor again, and I literally almost cried. When he flipped over his starting Pokemon, I was left shocked by the fact that he had a Wimpod in the active, a Trubbish on the bench, and a Giratina promo as well. And I just looked at it like, well, I'm not going to win this at all. But yeah, I ended up playing through all the games anyway, because you never know, he might brick. So I ended up being steamrolled Game 1 because he went Tapu Koko promo and Glycopod, and just kept steamrolling me for weakness and having no abilities with the Tina promo, and yeah. Game 2, that went really similar to Game 1, but I did end up taking some prizes because he misplayed with Glycopod. But yeah, apart from that, again, just being steamrolled by a Glycopod because of weakness and no abilities through Tina promo. So round 6 and final round of the day, I played Lycanroc Zoroark again, and after what I did in round 1, I felt really comfortable going into this game. So in Game 1, I went with the Espeon tactic again, and it ended up working. I took 2 prizes after setting up a break and Espeon, and then followed it with a Shuriken the following turn, which then I did a Guzma play, which got me 3 more prizes with Espeon, and then my opponent just scooped after he couldn't do trades or Bloodthirsty Eyes because Shadow Stitching's an attack. And then Game 2 went fairly quickly because he opened really bad. He opened Lele and didn't get anything else out for his turn 1. And then my turn 1 ended up with a Lele into a Wally, which then got me turn 1 water dupes again. And then after he saw that, he drew his card for turn and realised he couldn't do anything, and then just scooped, which gave me an overall record of 2-3-1, which got me 45th. Not gonna lie, I wished I did somewhat better in my Glycopod games and the Raichu Heatmore one, because if I've got a win in either of them, I would have been placed a lot higher, and if my tie was a win as well. But at the end of the day, I enjoyed it a lot because it was my first tournament in quite a while, because I took like a 4-month break, as some of you may know, because college and some stuff that went on in my life. But now I'm getting back into the swing of things, and hopefully I should be uploading a lot more regularly than normal. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow my Facebook page, and because that's where I'll be informing you about uploads and what I'm doing Pokemon wise. So yeah, and before I finish, big shout out to Michael, Richard, and Pierce. Without those three, I wouldn't be recording this video at all, because I wouldn't have been able to get there or have all the cards that I needed. So big shout out to you three, and I'll see you all next time.